Who is Ferdinand Marcos?
Hello everyone, we are here today to answer the questions that given to us. First question is, who is Ferdinand E. Marcos? Second question is, what is martial law? And under our law, what are the instances that martial law may be declared? Third question is, what are the pros and cons of the martial law declared by our President Ferdinand E. Marcos? So who is Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr.? Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. is known as, from his full name, Ferdinand Emmanuel Idrolin Marcos Sr. He is a Filipino politician, a lawyer, a dictator, and a kleptocrat. He is also known as our 10th president in the Philippines from 1965 to 1986. He is born on September 11, 1917 and died on September 28, 1989 in Honolulu, Hawaii, United States. He has the presidential term from December 13, 1965 to February 25, 1986, with a spouse of Ma'am Imelda Marcos and 3 children, namely Bongbong Marcos, our newly elected president in our country, and 2 daughters, namely Amy Marcos and Irene Marcos. Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. is also has 3 siblings, namely Pacifico Marcos, Elizabeth Marcos Kion, and Fortuna Marcos Barba. In his first term, Marcos made progress in agriculture, industry, and education. But in 1972, he imposed martial law, and his later years in power were noted for rampant government corruption, economic stagnation, political repression, and steady growth of a communist insurgency. He is very well known because of this, because he is the first president in our country who declared martial law. And many Filipinos, especially in the part of Luzon, who are very angry and very disagree because of this decision of our late president. So what is martial law? And under our laws, what are the instances that martial law may be declared? First, let us define martial law. Martial law involves the temporary substitution of military authority for civilian rule and is usually invoked in time of war, rebellion, or natural disaster. When martial law is effect, the military commander of an area or country has unlimited authority to make and enforce laws. Martial law is justified when civilian authority has ceased to function, is completely absent, and has become ineffective. For example, if martial law is already declared here in our community, the military has the power than the mayors, congressmen, and other government officials. This means that in the case of elected governments, the representatives chosen with a voting population are no longer in power. Civilians have ceded control of the country in exchange for potential restoration of order, with the possibility that control may not be reclaimed in the future. When martial law is declared, civil liberties such as the right to free movement, free speech, or protection from unreasonable searches can be suspended. The justice system that typically handles issues of criminal and civil law is replaced with a military justice system, such as a military tribunal. So we are not innocent about this martial law because we already experienced martial law last year because of the war happened at Marawi City and because of the terrorism attack here in Mindanao. Martial law may be declared also to reign in protest, civil unrest, coup d'etats, or insurrection. It may also be declared when a country's military occupies foreign territory, such as at the end of war. Just like I said, martial law can be declared because of terrorism, just like what happened in Marawi. Our President Rodrigo Duterte declared martial law so that we can gain back Marawi City from the ISIS or terrorists who occupy the place and create authority within there and oppress the freedom of the Filipino citizen. Last question will be, what are the pros and cons of the martial law declared by President Ferdinand E. Marcos? So, in the case of the Philippine martial law, 1971 to 1985, there were advantages. There was an improvement in general behavior of the public and rules were obeyed, cut a long due process to a short one. For instance, a suspect can be arrested without an arrest warrant. A house can be searched without a search warrant. Martial law eradicates criminality, where it neutralizes all criminal offenders responsible for risking safety and impunity against the society. Restoration of peace is one of the main issues why martial law is important to the society once in a while, so that the level of crime rates can significantly go down and safeguard the welfare of the society. One of the advantages also, it eliminates any signs of terrorism, where it is now one of the most problematic security issues affecting the safety and prosperity of declaring martial law is necessary. If tourism is very rampant in our community, declaring martial law is necessary. This is to flush out all insurgents who are terrorizing the community and responsible for provoking harm, intimidation, and coercion to the peaceful society that you are currently living in. Also, martial law promotes equality and equity in every society. One must apply equality, which provides equal rights that aim to protect dignity as well as the image of the individuals, groups, and organization. As for equity, it seeks to promote privilege and justifies any rights of every member of the society for the purpose of providing them with opportunity to become productive in their lives. Any suspicious activities or attempts to take advantage towards others will be apprehended by the law. In some, there are also more disadvantages than the advantages. The evil effect suspended the good effect. Of course, not all agree with the stance of the social moralists. There are those who find that Philippines really need martial law at that time, but others say, no, martial law is not important at that time. Martial law is not necessary at that time. Still, there are social democrats that hypothetically opine that if Marcos did not declare martial rule, then the Philippines could have been another communist state in the Asia Pacific. They say if Marcos did not declare that martial law on that time, then there will be a new president in the Philippines. It not be a president such as from voting or of the majority, but a president from a communist party. And that is why our late President Ferdinand E. Marcos declared martial law, so that we can still have our freedom from the communists. And the disadvantages is over 10,000 citizens were tortured, imprisoned, killed for real or imagined crimes, mainly imagined. So during that martial law, they say that there are many civilians, there are many innocents who are raped, who are tortured, and oppressed their freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and all of that are stated by the martial law babies, what we call, or the Filipinos who are still alive today who experienced the martial law that declared by our late president. So that's all. Thank you and God bless.